Okay, we have a cone 6 stoneware firing to unload, and the top pieces you've probably seen similar pieces before, but the ones in the bottom you haven't seen anything like it. So let's get going. So we have a dinner set somebody ordered in blue, green, copper, red, and oatmeal on the rim. So that's pretty straightforward. That's my blue, green, copper, red, which is red in the gas kiln and turquoise in the electric kiln. And just sponge stamped with some oatmeal on the rim to give it a little extra. These are apple green, no, that's chun green with, let me think, I did variegated blue and oatmeal on the outside. And that's the chun green showing the carving and the chattering. And there's a set of those.
This one's different.
This is a set somebody ordered, 4 or 6 bowls, and it's basically my mouse grey, which really has turned out nice. It usually goes sort of shiny, but this is sort of semi-matte. I think it's whatever happened in this firing really made that look nice. And then it's same on the inside there, mouse grey, and it's got variegated blue and oatmeal. But there's something happened with that makes it better. So we got the other 6. This makes a total of 6 of these plates. Same again, blue, green, copper, red with oatmeal. And these are a couple of cheese dish bases, which is with my regular blue over speckled clay with some oatmeal on the rim. Yep, the stilk collapsed. So I'll have to chisel that one off. But that's purple with variegated blue and oatmeal. So I think you've seen something similar to that before. I just popped the stilt off with the screwdriver, so it's left me a little bit to grind. But I'll make use of that grinder that I just showed you in the video. This is Tenmoku gold with variegated blue and oatmeal. It looks really good. We've got some nice gold coming out in that. Another one of those. And then a bunch of, and that's the, which one is this? Oh, I won't be able to get that off. That stilt's definitely hard. You just have to tap them. But that one is, I think that might be the mouse grey again, or it might number 16 glaze, but I don't remember using number 16, so probably mouse grey. Another purple one. I'm trying to rush down to get to the good stuff. This is apple green with chun green over the top. Another blue, green, copper red with chun green over the top of that again. Bright blue. That the stilt collapsed a little bit, I'll have to grind it as well. Bright blue with variegated blue and oatmeal. And then this one, this is my matte yellow oatmeal, which I'm not sure about this glaze, but I use it every so often. But it does nice with the regular oatmeal and the green on the rim. And this one, I think that's the mouse grey, but I'm not sure. Oh, that could be variegated blue too, but it almost looks like the way it does in a gas firing. Okay, might be a little hot.
Yeah, it's too hot.
We're going to leave it for about half an hour because that feels a little hot, but you can see what's coming up. Okay. All right. So I've got some more plates for berry bowls, colanders. That's my rutile green, which is a sort of bluey turquoisey green. There's the bright blue, the purple, and another bright blue. And now it's over to Jackie, who has some really great pieces coming out for a tile mural.
Okay, so this is the first bit of the tile piece. Hopefully the rest of it will come out too. This So this is the a vase. This will be the vase part. There's going to be more floral pieces up here. And this has been glazed and wax resisted. So I used wax resist to preserve the darker lines in here. And then I layered up with folk art white and some of the greens. And I also used some darker blues inside the leaves and on this particular flower. And then there's more greens along the edges just to give it a sense of more sense of volume.
Next layer down, I'll get rid of my plate here, which is Tenmoku gold with oatmeal on the top, and that's another one for the little berry balls.
Okay, and this piece here is part of the floral part that will go over the vase. So I used a variety of glazes here and wax resist. I put variegated blue in the areas kind of outlining the flowers and the leaves, and then waxed it, so there's wax resist holding those lines in place. And then in the other shapes, I've got the purple with some the dark blue in here, of the matte turquoise. This is oatmeal, folk art white. And in a lot of cases with the leaves, I layered 2 different kinds of green. And then there's some blue in some of the spaces, just some of the medium blue. And I really tried to do this so that I got contrast with the flowers and the leaves in the background. Oh, here we go. And then this whale is part of a second piece. This is a different piece. So this whale is mostly mouse gray, but some blue sponged in on the fins and things. And for the vapor water coming out of the spout, I used oatmeal and then wax resisted it and put blue over top in order to preserve these sort of linear textures in here and give them emphasis. I also spattered some variegated blue after I did the glazing, so you can see that it kind of gives it's not like a solid gray. Whoops, I'll get it down lower. It's not a solid gray, it's got a lot of variation in it.
One more plate for the berry balls.
Okay, and here I have the other part of the floral arrangement. Similar colors. I used wax resist. I put down variegated blue in these deep outline parts, and then wax resisted, and then went in and glazed the other areas with sponges. So I've got the purple, and I dotted some dark blue in there. This is variegated blue with some green, and then just little dashes of oatmeal over the top for contrast. That's the matte turquoise. So what I was aiming for was contrast between dark and light, and also matte and shiny. The butterfly here is oatmeal. Okay, that's that piece. And then this is the other whale for the other piece. And again, he's stamp textured, so he's got like a lot of texture in here, stamping into the wet clay. But I also wax resisted around the fish here, the mouth, and again to preserve the lines in the spout, the water spout. And I think I actually wax resisted these before putting another layer down. And again, there's spattering with variegated blue just to give the whale a lot of dimension and interest. There's a few little pieces here. These are just a few small detail pieces which are going to go on the next to the floral. So there's like there's a little shell. So the piece, I'm aiming to make the piece look like a window with some shells and flowers sitting on the windowsill. And this is, you know, like those beach rocks that we always find here that are black with little stripy bits.
The last level in the kiln includes a big stilt collapse here. So that's 2 of these collapsed. We didn't leave a mark on that one, which is good. But this one is Rutile green, which I don't use very often. And it sort of has a turquoisey bluey quality to it, but it bleaches to yellow if it's on thin. And I think that turned out quite pretty. Oh, it did touch the kiln shelf. I have to sand that bit there. Yeah, these stilts, some of these stilts are a decade old. I just keep straightening the pins and reusing them, but other ones, when they collapse, sometimes the glaze runs on them, they're toast. But that's Tenmoku Gold, variegated blue, and oatmeal. Same again here, Tenmoku Gold, variegated blue, and oatmeal. I'm basically building inventory this time of the year. It's February the 5th or 6th today for the season. So I'm trying to do some new pieces like I showed in the fish mural video with the whale one as well. So build some new one-of-a-kind pieces and keep maintaining the production for inventory. So it's busy. Another Rutile green with apple green and oatmeal over the top there. And there's even some blue poking through, which I'm not sure. It must be from the actual Rutile green potentially, but because I didn't use a blue glaze on that one. This is my bright blue, which when you put it over the speckle clay, it often has that sort of turquoisey look as well. But and there's 3 of these. So that's what those plates were for earlier in this video. They go underneath these. And there's another one. Very pretty. It was a good batch. All right, so that mural that Jackie's doing, I'm really excited to see it when it's finished. All right, see you. Oh, that's it. Bye. That's one of the trays from the videos. That looked like a crack, but it isn't. It was a crease from the plastic, and I'm surprised it didn't crack because sometimes it acts like a score mark in paper. But it turned out just perfect. That's the collar. That looks really nice. It's a lighter blue this time after the refiring. Oh, and the glaze ran, so I should have left it. But it did run. But it came out in one piece, so I just have to sand the bottom of this piece. You've got some pieces there, so it has to be sanded. But let's see if I can hold it in so you can see it. The color's nice, but it's stuck a little bit on the bottom, so I'm going to have to sand and grind that down a little bit. That'll be hard work. But it should have left it, I guess. It looks good. Just a bit of a rough bottom. It's meant as an outdoor piece anyway. Ooh. Let's see if this one is too. And that one did good. These are heavy. There you go. Looks nice. So they wanted it to vary a little bit, and that's what it's doing. Just sanding a little bit on the bottom there as well. Now we've got some Tenmoku Gold, which is way better than in the earlier part of the firing. Tenmoku Gold again. The blue is faded out and we leave with the oatmeal. That's what's interesting, because the blue is variegated blue and it actually makes them run more. So I've been putting on less, but now it's fading out, so we don't get much of the blue. But now they're not running. See, the handle's not running like we used to get. But it's obviously it's just a balance. And now I'm airing more on the oatmeal side than I am on the blue side, and it's not running, but we're not getting much blue. So you've got a little bit of running, but nothing like we used to get. And then a purple. That's the usual purple, which is actually very popular these days. Now here's where we don't mind as much when it runs, because it's on the inside of a bowl. And look at that. So the blue is staying because it's inside the bowl. I could apply it a little thicker. But that's one of those Cosmos type bowls. And then what's the outside look like? Ho, ho, ho. Very very pretty. It's funny, but the outside of bowls are sometimes so much nicer than the inside. So you have to think about putting this bowl higher up when you display it, because it's beautiful on the outside. The inside is pretty spectacular too. So get these bowls. Every so often I get one that turns out like this. This is a big bowl. This is heavy too. I meant it as a big mixing bowl type thing. So it's got a lot of oomph to this bowl. And then a bunch of tankards. Once again, the oatmeal overpowered the blue. And the blue, all of these are variegated blue and oatmeal over the top of the base color. So bright blue, that was Tenmoku gold. Here's another Tenmoku gold. So we've ended up with them blending. Well, maybe this is because it was refined, because that one did run. That one needs a little grinding right on the bottom, just there. Ooh. Same with this one. So I suspect this one was because they're run probably because I fired this twice. So chun green with apple green and oatmeal over the top. That's slightly different, but that's really nice. And then we have the folk art white, and that turned out really nice too. For new people who are subscribed to the channel, that's Black Underglaze LUG1 from Amico, which I sign with. Just a black underglaze. Any black underglaze would do it. I do it so people can find me, because it says La Have, Nova Scotia. You type that in Google, that's you find me. Or if you just said Potter, La Have, Nova Scotia, I bet that would find me too. So I get orders from people that I sold something to 20, 30 years ago. Because people search me on the web if they've got a piece in the house, and there I am. Which is why I used to use a stamp just with my initials, but nobody found me with that. So it takes a while to sign every piece, but you get orders every so often that makes it worthwhile, and that you did that in the past. Of course, some of them said La Have, some of them would say Columbus, Ohio, some would say, very early ones would say Mansfield, Ohio, and then after that it would be High Falls, New York, written on the bottom. So if you see them on Etsy or eBay and stuff, which I do all the time, with National Auctioneers, or is it Live Auctioneers, something like that, they have my pieces all the time. All right, there you go. That's the end of the kiln firing. So there are some different pieces here, aren't there? So there we go. So the first one is one of those glazes that I'm experimenting with. The slips and a diluted Tenmoku gold to give me a honey glaze. And that's what that is in the middle band there over the slips. So I took this one and I did my clear glaze. I'm trying to think, I didn't dip it, I sponged it. So I had this honey glaze that I've got from 1 parts to now 4 parts clear glaze. So 1 Tenmoku gold, 4 parts clear glaze. And then I'm using a sponge and just dipping it where there's an area that I want to have the clay show through to give me a honey rather than a white. I thought the white would be too sharp with these white dots, and I have yellow dot in the center of each one of these dots, which doesn't show up too much. It was a very, very tiny little yellow dot. And then underneath we have we have Randy's red, which you can see just in that area down there. And I have a feeling this was right next to the element, so it's got red on this side and it's brown on that side, which kind of has a nice feel anyway. But I think that turned out pretty nice, and makes me think maybe I could do the other teapots now, because I don't think I'm going to get much better than that honey. If I dilute it any more, it's just going to get so close to white again. But it's quite transparent, and yet you get honey color rather than the white from the actual white slip. And there's the lid for it. There you go. So we'll take a picture of it at the end of the video. Now, this was a bit of an experiment too. Matte turquoise all the way on the inside, and I was pouring it rather than filling it up and then pouring it out. I was pouring it in and washing it out, so it gave me a little bit more variation. And on the outside, I have variegated blue on the lower side, and then matte turquoise, and variegated blue and the matte green dipped on the outside. So I dipped matte turquoise all the way down like that, and then variegated blue overlapping up to there, and then variegated blue overlapping just on the rim too. And I probably did a touch of oatmeal up there as well. But the outside of that bowl is quite nice. It's what I call a big mixing bowl. And these are variegated blue over chun green with some oatmeal dipped on the rim. I think we may have seen those before. I have a bunch of tankards actually going through the kiln. So that's a nice tankard. Variegated blue, chun green, gives you that creamy look with the oatmeal over the top. This one is Rutile green, which is my base for my bright blue with copper carbonate added instead of cobalt. Rutile green again. And then I'll do this one first. This is an old piece that I hadn't fired for a long time. It's Tenmoku gold, and Tenmoku gold doing great. Look at that. And then oatmeal and variegated blue over the top again. And this is an old piece I had hanging around. I was waiting to refire, I think, but oh no, I had some bases and then the tops had got broken, so I just made new tops for them. Let's hope they fit. And then here's one of the trays. The rest of this kiln is are trays all the way down. So purple, variegated blue, and oatmeal, which goes that sort of dusty pink, where the oatmeal's over the purple, which is actually a very attractive pink because I'm not a pink fan. Okay, so I'll be able to show the sugar creamers on top of these later, but these following are all the way down trays, and I made a lot more trays than I need because I wanted to play around, because I like the long one, but the sugar creamer looks a bit empty, so I'm thinking about something else in the center of there. These three are all folk art white with oatmeal and apple green over the top. So I can pick these up. It says it's 150 degrees, which is actually quite hot, but that's Fahrenheit, so that's a pretty one. So you've seen these in the beginning of the video. These trays will show in the video I'm doing on sugar creamers and hand-built trays. So the purple oatmeal variegated blue again. That's the same again too. There's a great Tenmoku gold one. Variegated blue and oatmeal as well. And those are the backs of the trays. And another folk art white with apple green and oatmeal. Okay, more Tenmoku gold, which is actually done so well in this firing. You see those? Same again, Tenmoku gold. And then the bright blue. I got that on quite thick in the bottom there so you don't see as much of the texture. It goes nice blue when it's thick, and it's a sort of greeny color when it's thin with this bright blue. But that has a bit of everything on there, thick and thin. More blue with variegated blue and oatmeal. Again, the same piece. I must have liked that one. I made a lot of these trays extra. I may make sugar creamers again to go with them. And I sold quite a few of these separately last year. People often ask if you got a set, can I buy one part of the set? I hate doing that. Okay. This looks nice. This is the chun green. And I dipped it from both ends, and so the center part is double thick, and it's still really transparent, but it has a really nice color difference to the single dip. And then apple green on the ends and oatmeal across the edges on this side. Same again on this one. So where it got the oatmeal dribbling down, it kind of leaves the area on the vertical and goes down and forms that beautiful crystal edge along the bottom there. And two of the smaller versions of the two long ones. So they're really pretty. That's a great combo. Chun green, apple green, and oatmeal.